I remember Mrs. Ham, how very engaged in community activities she was. For me, it's awesome to be back here. I just remember even pulling up thinking, I don't even know where to park because when I was here, I didn't drive, so I didn't have to know where the parking spaces were. So I had to kind of figure out where to park. But once I figured that out, it just took me back to that 13, 16-year age range of walking the hallways and being able to see that some of the flooring in the walls are even still the same. I remember Mrs. Ham, and I remember how very engaged in community activities she was. I remember her coming to like my parents' house and them signing petitions for certain things, and so I remember that experience. I was friends with Wilma, and so Wilma and I like went to the same church, and I remember going to their house. But I felt like it was a very family-oriented experience, and I think that a lot of people, even though they don't live there anymore, I think are very well connected. And so there's not too much that goes on there that people that live outside of there don't know about because people sort of keep you updated on what's going on. And that's the thing that I like. Even though I knew Michael Jones, for example, and that family, when I entered the doors here at Stratford, I didn't remember any of that. That history wasn't there. And I think about the history and the experiences that he may have had in that group that came then versus when I came years later. I don't remember there being any sort of like race issues, color issues, or any of those things. I felt like everybody sort of blended together. I think for the most part, just like everywhere, people have their own tribes, and tribes kind of hung together, but more so at lunchtime. And I can think of a number of friends that I made then that I subsequently went on to high school with, and I'm still in contact with some of those people today. What I would say to students today is relish and take advantage of the experience that you're getting here in Northern Virginia because I think that we take it for granted. I feel like when I was growing up here, it was sort of taken for granted until you go outside of the Northern Virginia community and you see what's happening in other schools and other communities and what's happening in school systems. And I think that Arlington County is a very progressive county. I think it's a very inclusive county. And I think sometimes when you're in the throes of it, you don't appreciate it as much until you go away. Like I went to school in Norfolk and I immediately realized how very different Norfolk was than Northern Virginia. And so I would really encourage the students to just kind of look around at some of the things that they may take for granted now and realize when they go outside of the bubble of Northern Virginia, it may not necessarily be the same way. And what they're getting now, I think, will be skills that they can carry with them for the rest of their lives. And I feel even better about it now, knowing that history that's behind it and knowing that I had the opportunity to walk the halls here.